Very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we connect with A to Y. I'm Yasas.
And I'm Asi. Good evening, Asas. What's
Good
happening in
evening.
UAE?
UAE is getting better. It's not as hot as it used to be. So we are moving towards winter and weather is good. It's nice. Now it's a pleasure to actually walk out.
I'm sure that you are missing the Sri Lankan climate. It's been a week, right? After it's
Definitely. It's a week
was
since
it
I've been
a
there.
week or
So
2 weeks? Just
one
week,
week,
yeah.
last
One
Friday.
week.
Exactly one
Yeah. It's been a week.
week. So, Azi,
How
I
time
mean,
flies.
it has been a great year for us, as you know. And last year, like we completed 1 year in the UAE, so it has been like time has been flying fast. Things have been moving very fast. Interesting experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, I mean, congratulations to us and to Hash33 for
Exactly.
reaching this amazing 1 year milestone. I mean, it's absolutely a truly inspirational story behind it. I'm sure that one day we can share that story with everyone, right, with our audience.
Definitely, Azi. I mean, even if it's not a success story, we will probably able to share, what went wrong and how we learned from it. So it's always a learning, and
Absolutely,
we are never you know disappointed about learnings in our life, right? So I mean,
100%.
whether it's a success story or whether it's a story of learnings, it's
Hmm.
something we are going to share. As 3 years, in Sri Lanka it's over 11 years, 1 year in UAE. Maybe next year there might not be a hash 3, but it's all about the experience.
100%, I agree. Yes, yes. And today, ladies and gentlemen, what we are going to talk is it's about learn from our new business enrollment. Say, as a Sri Lankan, Yasas actually took that risk with his entire family. He moved to UAE. There's a big story behind it. Today, we are not going to touch about it. However, that single step within 365 days we have actually evolved, and it's not an easy task. I'm sure Yasas will agree with my statement as well. There was a lot of risk, there was a
Definitely,
lot of
yes.
challenges, and in certain times that we have actually spoke to each other and said, hey, Asi, do we really wanted to continue this, or are we going to discontinue, and shall I come back to Sri Lanka? So we had conversations like that as well. Let's share our thoughts about the whole experience, yes, with our amazing audience.
Definitely, Azi. I think, Azi, by the way, your connection seems to be dropping on and off. So if you do drop, I will pick up and I will take it from there.
So,
So absolutely right, Azi. I mean, the whole story was how we set up and things not working the best way, the way we wanted. So we had to make a quick decision about moving out of uh, Sri Lanka and setting up an international operation. So that's where we started. I think the connection is probably dropping from my side for some reason. Azi. I'm in a different room today. I think the most important thing is
that's
even if
okay.
we move
Let's
to the
continue. Yeah.
UAE. Sure. Even when we moved in, we were not 100% sure whether we wanted to start something here. So, like anything, like we've spoken in the past, the first step was actually to do an audit to kind of assess the market, understand. So,
Hmm.
even before I moved with my family, I moved in a bit early, assess the market. I looked at the market availability, what we're going to do, how we're going to set up things. And then even after moving in, as if you remember, we took about 10 months before registering the business in the UAE. So in that 10
Hmm.
months, we were looking at, okay, what works in this market, because this is a big market. There's a lot of players, a lot of competition. So you can't do the same thing that you do in Sri Lanka. You need to have something that differentiates yourself, to figure out what exactly can we differentiate on. And being a digital agency and being doing digital consultancy, we definitely felt work on. And Azi, can you see me? I kind of lost myself and lost you.
Yeah, there's a slight lag, yes, as I also don't know whether the connection issue is from my end or your end, but let's continue. Whatever said and done, let's not worry about too much about this and let's continue. I'm sure our audience will bear with this technical challenge.
Definitely. So yes, Asi. So that's basically how we started. Took 10 months, established the business, and even after starting the business, it took us about 2 months because it's not like in Sri Lanka. You don't get your bank account created on the same day. You don't get certain things set up in the same day. So it officially for us to start business, it took another 2 months to probably get our invoicing right. Though we had the business, though we were prospecting and meeting clients, it took us another 2 months to actually get the invoicing and the banking details right. So it was a different experience. I mean, when I started Hatch33 back in 2012, we didn't have to think that much. It was just, again, a leap of faith, no planning, just, it was situational. We just started it. But of course, with that experience, over a decade of experience, we were able to relook at things. We were able to, I think if you look at a story 1 year down the line, Asi, the reason why we achieved some things within a short period, actually speaking, like 10 months, though it's one year, as I said,
Yeah.
because 2 months were wasted. It was actually from this year's January that we really started prospecting, especially in this market. So if you really look at that, I think it's the 10 years experience, 11 years of experience that really helped us to kind of have that exponential growth in that short time. So experience is one thing I would always talk about. So whether you have the experience as an entrepreneur or if you have people who are surrounded by you who have that experience, I think you need to bring that experience. That will make a difference in how you operate because certain things we knew, this is the path we need to do, this is how we start. So though we believe failing fast, we were able to kind of not fail at the early stages because there were certain experiences that we could kind of piggyback on.
Correct. Yeah. I do have a question for you, Asas. Now, building a successful consultancy agency or consultancy business requires a lot of in-depth understanding about our customer needs, right? Now, you have been working here in Sri Lanka for close to 20 plus years, and you have a very thorough knowledge about how Sri Lankans operates, how Sri Lankan mindset operates. And when you move to UAE, it's a complete different culture, complete different, I'm using the word animals, right? But how did you, what kind of steps that you actually did to understand these clients' needs for you to share your knowledge and experience and helping them to grow their businesses?
Very, very important question, Nazi, because like no matter what experience you have in your home market, when you move to a new market, and this is not the first time, this was a second attempt to set up an international operation. Back in 2018, we set up in Singapore, and we had to close it down in about 1.5 years due to Corona, right? So that was another learning we already had, right? And the learning what I got from the Singapore operation was, I see we were trying to monitor it, manage it 100% remote from Sri Lanka. And that's one reason I kind of thought about, and I was very particular even with our team. We can't do that. If you're setting up in the Middle East, we have to be in the Middle East. Physically, we have to have someone there. We have to be in the market to really understand the market. So then coming into the important question that you mentioned, okay, so how did I find it having 20 years of experience? It was still new because number one, the language, the culture, the way you prospect. Now, we know since 2018, since the Easter attack, we were almost working remote, and 2019 onwards, anyway, we were 100% remote at hand.
Yeah.
So even our international clients at the moment, we work remotely. We don't visit them. But in this market, Asi, what I felt was trust comes with meeting people personally. So that requirement came strongly. There were clients who would say, yes, we are fine. And then, like at the moment, we have 4 clients we work with in the UAE. One client, of course, is someone we've known for a while, so they are okay. But still, even they kind of say like, hey, can we meet up at least once a week or twice a month? So that physical interaction is still required. Now in Sri Lanka, we hardly do
Mm.
that, right? We've kind
Correct.
of got comfortable, we're doing it remote. So we need to adapt and we need to kind of change the way we work in different
Mm.
markets. We need to understand the cultural know-hows. We need to kind of look at what's working. And another thing is like the different seasons we have. The example, July and August was summer. That's the time
Mm.
everybody goes on leave and things are going very slow. Before that, you have the Eid season, again slow. So there are kind of literal dead months in this market. So depending, no matter how much of prospecting you do, no matter how much things you try to do, there are certain months that you cannot operate even if you want to,
True.
because people are taking leave, people are not available, your customers are not
Mm.
available, and you need to respect those decisions. So if you are doing any business planning, you need to take into consideration the cultural aspects, the language aspects, the normal business practices in those markets, and you need to adapt, you need to change, you need to accept.
Mm.
Just because you had experience of 20 years or 10 years, 11 years of another business, and you try to copy paste it, it's not going to work. I think the biggest lesson again for us there was, we've seen a lot of change in Sri Lanka with the economic crisis, Corona, then
Yes.
Easter tag, and other challenges we had in our journey. We are
Mm.
kind of agile, and that allows us to kind of be able to be flexible and take on head-on challenges and change accordingly. Saying
Mm.
that, I must say there are still lessons that are learned on a daily basis. There are times that you
True.
feel like, oh no, no, let's not work on this type of business, right? So that's what I could say from basically on to answer your question.
Yeah. Thank you for that clarity and insight, Yasas. And something that actually resonated with me also when you said that it was not an easy task; it was challenging, and you had to mentally prepare yourself to face all these challenges. I was actually reading the book that you gave me during the lunchtime today. Uh, Screw it, let's do it by Sir Richard Branson. And I was actually thinking, even though he failed many times, he had this determination that he's going to make it, and he's doing it, and he never take no as an answer. And I know you from the school days. I know you true to my heart. And some quality that I see in you also, Yasas, is that you never say no, that you have that drive, you have that passion, and you make it somehow. Just tell me from where you get this inspiration, from where you draw this inspiration to drive.
I think it's. I mean, I never thought of it that way till you mentioned it now. But I feel it's part of my stubbornness. Like my mother used to always say that I'm quite stubborn, and I kind of don't listen. I mean, whilst people see me in a different way, teachers, friends, colleagues, people will say like, no, like I don't think you're a stubborn person, but internally, probably my family would know me better. I'm kind of a stubborn person, so I hate to take no as an answer, whether it's me or whether it's people I work with. And you know that
Mm.
I'm very critical when somebody immediately says no without even thinking about it twice or even giving it an attempt. So
Mm.
if you notice, even the magic industry and all that, kind of say it's not working, that kind of thing really motivates me. So the best way to motivate myself is to tell me something that is not going to work. And then I would try to work for it. Of course, you do fail sometimes with that,
Right.
but I think it's part stubbornness and part that feeling that you don't want to kind of be not taking a challenge is what has made me probably that person. But I'm trying to change that attitude actually, because sometimes I know it's not the best way to operate.
But I'm sure that you'll figure out a right, comfortable way for you to thrive yourself in a for a longer distance. So yes, sir. I know that we have only about another 4 minutes now. All of us know it's 1 year. It's a significant milestone, right? What kind of advice that you would love to give to our audience who are inspired to start business in UAE or any other country? What kind of a not advice actually, opinion that you would like to share to our viewers?
Exactly, because in A2I, what we share is always our view. It doesn't mean that our view is the correct view. It's our personal view. So, we might be right, we might be wrong. But what I would say is don't plan too much. I mean, yes, you need to plan, but work on execution more than planning, because I think paralysis by analysis is one of the biggest distractions one would have. And when you try to plan things too much, when you try to assess things too much, you don't take decisions in life. I mean, it's with the life decisions or with its career decisions or with its professional decisions. I think if you have that gut feel and if you really want to achieve something, if you want to really move into a particular market and you want to succeed, just jump into it. It doesn't mean that you need to go and set up a big shop and big business and invest all your money and try something big at once. No, that's not what I'm saying. Act on it. Move into that market. Spend some time. Speak to people. Start in a very small way. Try out things. Take the lean startup methodology. Try changing things. If you fail, that will just tell you that's one way it doesn't work, and figure out a different way to do it. Don't take it as failure. So keep trying it, attempt it, change it. It is rarely that somebody would win at the first attempt. You will miss out more than winning most of the time. So don't get disheartened, right? And hi Rangat, don't get disheartened. Try many ways how things can work. Try it. Don't give up, because that's what I would say. So like jump into it, execute, learn on the go, and change on the go. And I see, just to tell one point what you asked earlier, at one point I was like, gosh, I'm back to 20 years back when probably I moved back in life, and because I start everything from scratch. It's like, if you believe in your cause and if you believe in doing things, take that step. And worst case, as I said, you'll know how things will not work rather than accepting it as a failure. So that's all I would say.
Thank you so much. That's an amazing, beautiful answer. And it's always nice to have these kind of conversation, because today for me, I had a very rough and tough day. But I mean, having this conversation actually gave me a little boost also. I mean, I believe, yes, as we should change the mechanism of A to Y. Probably we can invite significant individuals or people like us, and do these kind of interviews where they can share their thoughts and their ideology. So whoever who is watching can learn from them and grow. So probably we might have to change.
I agree. Let's relook at the format, because I think it's about evolving. We've done something 28 episodes, and we've kind of tried various versions. We've seen certain things that work, certain things don't work. But definitely, I think it's all about sharing. So any entrepreneur out there, any tech company out there, any person who wants to learn from experience, this is the platform. A2I is the platform, and to help you on that, we will see how we can involve more people, bring in external knowledge, and have more discussions that would be of importance for you. So with that promise, Asi, let's conclude today's edition, the 28th episode of A2I. And we'll try to see whether we can come up with a new edition, a new version of A2I when we join next Thursday, 6:30 Sri Lanka time or 5 o'clock Gulf Standard Time. And with that, signing off, I'm Yasas.
And I'm Asi. See you folks next week.